address on two important issues. One is about research and research methodology, and given an opportunity, how to conduct a research at the college level or at the university level. Hope you are all beginners in your academic career. Suppose if there is a research project, how do you implement that? What are the parameters you should consider while implementing the project? And there are people, once you complete the research, you are planning to apply for the research grant. So what are the funding agencies which provide research grant to you, and how to write a small research project? Earlier, the University Grant Commission was offering a lot of research funds for even college teachers who are interested in research. But nowadays, most of the funding agencies stopped research grant to the faculty members who are in the undergraduate colleges. But there are many private non-profit organizations. They do provide grant for conducting 1 year, 2 year, 3 year research program on a concerned subject. So when opportunity comes, so how do you take up that issue? So these are the things the UGC in its national level NAP program also, they brought in this research concept at the undergraduate level. They have introduced the 4-year program. The last fourth year was supposed to, all the teachers were supposed to teach about the research component, how to conduct a research, and also how to guide the student on a research project. So these are all the things that are embedded in the NEP 2020. Of course, in the state of Karnataka, due to various reasons, we have withdrawn that NEP 2020, and we have switched back to 3 years program now. So in most of the other states and colleges coming under the University Grant Commission jurisdiction, they have already introduced 4 years program for undergraduate program, and most of the teachers, you may be already familiar with that. If not this year, maybe when the student enter the 4th year, you may have to guide them on a research topic, and for a 8 credits paper, and therefore these two presentation and followed by one more presentation by other subject expert who is going to evaluate your project proposal, and there will be marks for that. And the intention is to inculcate some basic knowledge about how to conduct, what is research, how to conduct a research, what is the significance of research, why we should do research, when we do research, where to publish the data, how to publish the data, what is the quality publication. When you publish research papers in quality research journals, how these papers will impact your credibility, and how these publication will give you a characteristic rating to your college, rating to your institution. So therefore, and also rating to the faculty members. So these are all the lot of benefits are associated with understanding the concept of research, how to conduct a research, how to implement a research project, how to inculcate that research intuition among the student. So these are all the very essence and the basics of NAP 2020. Hope the Karnataka government will also ready with the state education policy. In that, the research component will also be embedded in that. We are hoping to see that similar component that have been embedded in the NEP program. With these remarks, hope the today's two presentation on research methodology and followed by how to write a research project to a funding agency will give you a lot of confidence in you, so that you can take up a small research work in your colleges and universities, and also it will help you to enrich your knowledge in the area of thrust areas of your subject, and also it will empower you on how to conduct a research. With this basic information, let me, my presentation, I will keep it very simple, and there are certain aspects I will not dwell upon in detail. I will try to explain in few simple terms the basic concept behind with what is research and how to conduct a research, important components of a research, okay, and what to do and what not to do in research. So these are the area, and I will give you sufficient time at the end of my presentation. If you have any specific questions, you can ask me those questions. We will have a wonderful discussion at the end of my presentation. So welcome back to my first session. Let us try to understand what is research. So if I ask you the same question to you, many of you will certainly give you a definition, and the definition may be correct or may not be correct, but understanding the importance of the research and the etymological origin of the term research, all these things we need to understand from the basic, so that it will help us to understand the deeper meaning of research and why we should do research. Okay, suppose if you don't do research, what will happen? So these are all the issues. So today, whatever the books that you are reading for presentation to your students, once upon a time, the information that is there in the books, it was printed in the form of a research papers. And research papers are all published by a research scientist, professors in the universities. They conducted a research investigation over a period of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And there are research scientists, entire life they spent on conducting a research. They must have published umpteen number of research papers, and collating all the data that has been published in research paper. So one will, understand the basic essence of research paper, and they draft the important outcome of the research paper, and they introduce that concept into textbook. Whatever the information that we are all reading in the textbooks, once upon a time, they were all there in the research publications. So therefore, it is all about enriching our knowledge, enriching about education, and the education is all about the collection of all the pertinent knowledge, world knowledge. So let us move further. We know that we are all teachers, teaching our students both in graduate and postgraduate systems. The students who are our beacons of hope, we the teachers, we train them in the research institution as leaders of tomorrow. So therefore, the teachers must be committed themselves personally and also professionally, and we should take care of the overall development of the student in terms of efficiency of the teaching, education, and also research. So far, we believed that education is something generally, it is providing information to the students in the form of a lectures, and finally at the end of the semester or the end of the year, conducting an examination or a test to understand whether student or the scholar, whether he has understood all the provided information or not. So, but today it is not so. And this gaining of knowledge, started much earlier. And we know that we have learned many things from our parents. Okay. So real teachers are our parents. After that, the kids will enter the nursery school system, that also we have introduced. So the student will learn little bit information in the nursery. Then he will enter the primary education system from first standard to sixth standard. And then he will enter the secondary education system. We call it as a middle school level education. And then we will higher secondary from 11th to 12th standard, what we call pre-university education. And then we, under the student will enter the graduation system. Generally, it is 3 years in our country, but under recent NEP, we have made it to 4 years now. Okay. Once they complete the graduation, ultimately they enter the post-graduation system. This is the highest level of education system. So in a classroom system where the teachers deliver, student understand, and finally they write exam and they go with a certification system. This is the, the process, the how gaining of knowledge through traditional learning process takes place in an Indian education system. We are all educated under this system, except now NEP, we are embarking on 4 years degree. So let us see how it will unfold. So imagine the circle that what you are seeing, it contains all the human knowledge. This is how we started acquiring knowledge from the nursery system, elementary school level. By the time we finish elementary school, we get a little knowledge, and then we enter the high school system. Then we will know little bit more about the world knowledge, and then we enter the bachelor's degree. And bachelor's degree, there will be a specialization. So the BSc, BA, or BCom, whatever may be, even within that, there will be a specialization. Okay, so we will understand the special knowledge, and then by the time we complete the degree level, then we will enter the master degree level. So master degree deepens our understanding in the chosen subject. Okay, and then finally, what next? What next means there is another kind of knowledge we do acquire, that is what called research degree. Research degree. And research degree is otherwise known as PhD or the doctoral degree. This degree that we get it only through research, conducting a research. By the time, yeah, of course, we do conduct research 4 years, 5 years. By the end of 5 years period, okay, finally we come out with a something which is very unique thing in a research program. We have concluded that I have discovered something, I have invented something, okay, which the world knowledge not known about that, okay. And at the end of the 5 years research period, finally one day we do get a degree, that is what we call a PhD degree. So this PhD degree is the highest degree given by any university system in India. So this university system, when compared to the world knowledge, look at the amount of knowledge that we gain, though it is the highest degree, okay, given by the university, okay, and when compared to the world knowledge, the amount of knowledge that we contribute is very, very negligible. But still, it is very important to, because we do contribute little bit to the existing knowledge. So therefore, that knowledge is also important. So the knowledge that we contribute through research is very, very important. And for that, that degree, we call it as a research degree, or otherwise called a PhD degree or a doctoral degree. So this is the highest degree given by the university for your, 4 to 5, 6, 7 years of continued research, spending a lot of time, spending a lot of money, okay. And it is mainly through by research. This degree comes to you by research. So now let us try to understand what is this research is all about. So in the Indian system, the gaining of knowledge through research takes place. We have in India, we have 3 important university system. We have central university system governed by the central government of India, and central government funding is there. Then we have state university system where state government fund the research, education and research. In addition to that, the University Grant Commission has also permitted the private university system where huge amount of money is spent and a lot of fund is available to carry out research even in private universities. And all these universities, whether central or state or private universities in India, they are all governed by the University Grant Commission. You all knew about this, so I will not get into that. So the moment you complete your master degree, when the student complete master degree, he will go for a research, what we call research degree, that is a PhD degree. He should choose the universities. Why universities? Why only the people choose the universities for research? Because universities are embedded with ideas and the people. Okay, ideas and the people, they will be there in the university system, because ideas are very, very important. Ideas are very precious for research. Those who have ideas change the world. If you look back and understand our own civilization, you will understand that ideas are very, very important. Ideas can change the world, and those who have ideas, they rule them. We are all ruled by those people who have ideas. And therefore, if you have ideas and the people, and they can contribute really good for enriching our world knowledge. So in that context, universities play a very important role in conducting the research and also awarding the research degree to the fellow student who register for research degrees. So if you look back, and why research, why we need to do research, I will come to the definition of research a little bit later. So look at this person, Louis Pasteur. He is considered as a legend of France, and we must have, you must have morning, you must have drank the pasteurized milk. Pasteurized milk. Every day we are all drinking the pasteurized milk. That pasteurized milk is a kind of milk which is always free from all microscopic organism. It will not be get spoiled. Okay. So that pasteurization, it is a process. It is a simple invention, a simple thing. It was invented by this man, Louis Pasteur. He was considered as a legend of France. He was basically a chemist. Basically, he was a chemist. But later, because his three loved daughters were killed by three different diseases, and therefore he turned his attention towards diseases, and he started investigating, the agents which were responsible for death of people. Okay, particularly in 15th, 16th, 17th century, 5 important diseases ruled the world. They were, these diseases killed more number of people in the society, and therefore he started investigating, and finally he got the answer that microorganism, a minute organism which are present in the air, present in the food, present in the water, present in, they are invisible creatures. They were responsible for causing the diseases. So he discovered the microscopic organism responsible for that, and he also, he has done, contributed a lot. And Louis Pasteur is also known for developing the vaccine for rabies disease. Rabies is a very serious, deadly disease caused by the bites of a rabid dog. Okay, for that vaccine he developed, and vaccine is
Hello,
developed
sir.
without knowing the causative, the
Hello, sir.
organism responsible for rabies. Yes.
Sir, slides are not moving, sir. Sorry for interruption.
1 minute. Where you are? 1 minute. Not moving?
First slide itself, sir. Session 1.
Now. Oh, so I'm sorry. 1 minute. There is some problem. I'm extremely sorry. What? Let me check. Thank you for interrupting me. I will.
Not mentioned, sir. Not mentioned.
Thank you. Please be there. We think that ನೋಡಿ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ಸ್ ನನಗೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನೋಡಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಸರ್ ಅದೇನಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊತ್ತು. ಆಗ ನಾವ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಬಲ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೊತ್ತು ನಾವು ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Okay, Jayana, are you able to see the slide now? Hello?
Sir, slides ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ but move ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ sir.
Now you please check now.
Yeah, it's not moving, sir.
ಇಲ್ಲ sir.
It is there, sir.
Now?
No sir, no sir.
No sir, first slide alla ide.
1 minute.
No, sir.
Yeah, sir. Now it's changing, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Are you able to see the slide now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So look at this person. So he is considered as a legend of France, Louis Pasteur. You know, a pasteurized milk that we drink every day. So he discovered a technique to remove the microscopic organism from the milk. Okay. He developed this particular technique for grape juice. For grape juice, wine industries in France was affected by contamination by microorganism. In order to remove the bacteria, microorganism from the grape juice, he developed a technique called pasteurization. That pasteurization is a very simple technique. It is just heating the grape juice at 80 degrees centigrade for just 30 minutes. 80 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes without boiling. So pasteurization, that pasteurized milk, whatever we drink, it is nothing but heating the milk at 80 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes. So that's what the milk is called pasteurized milk. So this important technique was, for this Louis Pasteur won the World Science Prize way back in 1860. Okay, at that time Nobel Prize was not there. Now, the same pasteurization technique is applied to almost all food preservation purpose. Okay. And very important discovery of Louis Pasteur is, the development of vaccines. You are all familiar with vaccines. You must have taken already vaccines against the COVID-19 virus. Okay. And the first vaccine was developed by Louis Pasteur without knowing the causative agent. Now we know that COVID-19 is caused by SARS virus, SARS-2 virus. But without knowing the virus, the virus responsible for rabies was discovered only in 19th century. I am talking about 18th century, where he developed a vaccine, okay, for which he never understood, nobody understood the agent responsible for rabies. So therefore, vaccine for rabies saved millions of people all over the world, and therefore Louis Pasteur is hailed as the greatest savior of mankind. So he is, we still remember for his important contribution to microbiology. We have another person. Hope you are able to see the Alexander Fleming. Okay. So he discovered the penicillin. Most probably you all must have been, given an injection called penicillin. This drug is called wonder drug. Particularly during World War II, it saved millions of soldiers. And that important discovery was made by Alexander Fleming. Okay. It is an accidental discovery. As a result, we have to have multi-billion dollars antibiotic industry today. Multi-billion dollars antibiotic industry. Okay. And it is all revolving around simple discovery which was made by Alexander Fleming. So Alexander Fleming, along with one Australian scientist and American scientist, they won the Nobel Prize in 1940 for discovering this important drug called penicillin. Another person, Robert Koch. Robert Koch. We know that today there are so many diseases, and nothing was known about disease causing agent way back in 18th century. And I told you 5 important diseases ruled the entire world. And this man, Robert Koch, he was a physician and he was a doctor, and he discovered the causative agent responsible for tuberculosis. After that, he developed a theory called germ theory of disease. Germ theory, Roganu Siddhanta, germ theory of disease. Since then, many disease-causing organisms we have discovered, and many diseases can be cured nowadays by using antibiotics and many other drugs. So therefore, credit goes to Robert Koch for discovering the causative agent of diseases. Okay. So therefore, it is an important discovery. I'm just telling you why research is important, how research has helped us to understand disease problem, and how helped us to understand the develop medicine and develop in the field of agriculture. Like that, there are several examples. Look at this man, Gregor Johann Mendel. He developed a theory called laws of inheritance. We all looks like our parents, either father or mother. So that theory, we call it as a law of inheritance. He invented a new discipline called genetics, anuvamshiyate, genetics. Okay. And with that, today we have molecular biology, genetic engineering, genomics, many new disciplines have emerged. But the basic, strong foundation was laid down by a monk. He was a, monk in a church, and he was interested in understanding how characters which are present in parents are transmitted to the offspring. By that, he developed a theory called laws of inheritance. There are 3 laws, and which the modern biology is revolving around. There is another person, Sir Isaac Newton, his important contributions, the universal gravitation, the 3 laws of motions described, and it is an important field of discovery. Similarly, Albert Einstein contribution, general theory of relativity, that is E is equal to mc square. The physics teachers know about his importance contribution made by Albert Einstein. And very recently, you must have heard about Norman Borlaug. He is an American genetist and a plant breeder. He won the Nobel Prize for Peace. Look at it, he won the Nobel Prize in 2009 for peace. He understood the crop system, and he developed the hybrid varieties of cropland, which ultimately ended the world hunger. So therefore, Norman E. Borlaug is applauded for his important contribution, because he is the man responsible for reducing the world hunger. So that's why Nobel Peace Committee awarded him a prize in 2009 for peace. Okay, so that is his important contributions. So, dear friends, in 1982, there was an Indian Science Congress which was held in the University of Mysore, and the president was M.G.K. Menon. And Dr. M.G.K. Menon made a statement in his presidential remark that the world of today is largely the product of scientific research and development. That means whatever we are using today, any articles for that matter, any instrument, anything for that matter, whatever the items that you are using today, they are all product of scientific research and innovations. Even if you take a safety pin or a small needle, whatever may be, they are all innovation, scientific research and innovate. Somebody must have ideas, and they developed into a concept, and later they have been developed into a products. So friends, therefore, the scientific research, conducting research, scientific research is very important for national developments. So let us try to understand what is this research is all about, why we need to conduct. Research can be defined as systematic and objective analysis and recording of controlled observations that may lead to the development of generalization principles or theories resulting in prediction and possibly ultimate control of events. That means there is something where natural phenomenon is happening in the nature. Say, for example, COVID virus disease has all of a sudden appeared way back in 2019. And finally, we discovered that there was a virus, and this virus was spreading through air, through some other mechanism. And that's why the whole world was locked down, and people were prevented from moving around because it was airborne. So therefore, if you go outside, you will catch the virus. So that's why the entire world was locked down. And scientists who discovered that it was a virus which came from some other bird or some other organism. Somehow it has entered the human population, adapted to survive in the human population, and started causing a lot of physiological and mental damages in the human beings. And later, look at that. After that, what has happened? Same scientist, group of scientists, they come together and developed the ideas. They tested the hypotheses. Finally, they come out with different types of vaccines. And we took the vaccines. And finally, we kept the virus at a distance. Okay. So this one important incident that in the 21st century, we all undergone, that will tell you the importance of, research. So the research is, encompasses many important. So in humanities, we do research. In science, we do research. We do it in economics. Any field you name, in every field, we conduct research, investigation. When we conduct research and investigation, we come out with something new. That new thing will help us to develop a technology. The technology will help us to ease our difficulties, or it helps us to solve the problems. So today's modern societies are facing a lot of problems. So these problems you can take up, investigate why these problems are appearing in a human society and how to solve them. And finally, you come out with a solution, and these solutions will help us to understand or help us to mitigate the problem, help us to solve the problem. This is what has happened in our COVID-19 research investigation. So that, okay. So research is all about, there are different definitions are there. I will not get into the definition part of that. I will leave you these PPTs. You can later read once again. And research is all about, look at this, original contribution to the existing stock of knowledge, making for its advancement. So when we do research, when we enter the research field, we take up a problem, then we investigate something, and then we contribute something. This is a original contribution. So nobody has done this contribution. So you are contributing something, new ideas, new knowledge. That is what we call research. This new knowledge or original contribution help us to develop a medicine, help us to develop a new crops, help us to solve the economic problem, help us to solve many problems. In the problems in agriculture, environment, everyday, day-to-day life, many things. So therefore, in short, research means search for new knowledge, something new. So when we do research, we search for new knowledge. So this new knowledge will be published in the form of a paper, research paper. Then that research knowledge in the research paper, we will take it into the textbooks, and then it becomes a knowledge and everyone will read that. So therefore, this is something, this slide is very important. What is research means? It is an original contribution to the existing stock of knowledge. It is not it is just researching the knowledge which is already present. So research is always original contribution to the existing knowledge. So that is why science or any discipline which is expanding. Why? Because people are doing research, contributing new knowledge. That knowledge is coming to the textbook. We are all teaching that new knowledge to our student. So therefore, it is very, very important. It is very important for nation development. Okay. So therefore, we the teachers are also contributing indirectly while doing research for the national development. So therefore, think in that line and try to imbibe few qualities of research so that you can also contribute something really good for advancement of science, technology, economics, any field for that matter. Everybody can contribute. So therefore, research is very, very important. So that's what M.G.K. Menon said, that whatever we have today, they are all actually the products of scientific innovation, scientific research. So that's why we need to conduct research for the advancement. So if by contributing something new to our science, we can make advancement. So we can make our country feel proud about our research. So the word research can be used either noun as well as verb. Okay. So it can be used as noun as well as verb. And I will not get into the details of that. The simple word research means original contribution to the existing stock of knowledge for its advancement. So that is the simple definition. Please remember this. Now, let us try to understand how the word research evolved. So if you trace the origin of the word, so in English there is a discipline course called etymology. Say separate discipline is there, division, etymology. Etymology deals with origin of the words. So when we investigate how the research word derived from, so we derived from French language, recherche. Look at this, French language, recherche means it is something, some searching something for new, to search something new, to search something new. Research means to search something new. Research is all about searching for new things. Hope you have understood. So this particular word has been used. The meaning of word has been introduced as early as in 1577. Remember this word, okay, 1577. And since then, we have been using this particular word in, to carry out research, investigation, to search for something which is confronting us. Then why we need to do research? So research is important both in scientific field and also non-scientific field. Sometime economy of our country will go down. So what measures we need to take? The economists will work on that. Similarly, when there is an economy, so we need to share that economy with the societies. So sociology people will understand how much need to be, infused into the society so that the societal problems can be solved, or the status of an individual, a particular group of people can be lifted. Okay. So socio-economic problems. In political science, we have problems. Similarly, we have international problems, international affairs. In science and technology, in medicine, environment, agriculture, any field you name. Even in media, we have people are doing research. Okay. So every field research is there. So in our life, every day we face one or the other problems. Today I read the newspaper in the morning that in Karnataka also 4 strains of COVID virus emerged very recently. Okay. They are all moving in the human population. What to do if they mutate and come out with a new, vengeance? What we need to do? The existing vaccines may not protect us. What we need to do? So we need to conduct more research, how they are behaving, what are their structure, is there any changes occurred, mutation has occurred. Scientists will investigate. If mutation has occurred, how many types of mutations are there? Really very problematic or not? So scientists will immediately isolate those viruses and they carry out research and tell us, oh, these viruses are mild viruses. People need not worry. Okay, something. Okay, if they are really serious, then we may lock down. Okay, impose a lockdown once again. So therefore, every day there will be a problems will be there in every field. And these problems we need to take up, serious problem, only serious problem we can take up, investigate scientifically and come out with a solution. So therefore, we can solve this problem very efficiently. Practically implementable solutions and suggestions are required for tackling new problems that arise. Whatever the people, who are the people who are doing research, they have taken the problems from the society, problems from the forest, problems from the natural, phenomenon. All these things have been investigated very effectively, and scientists or social scientists, they have undertaken research on them and find out their causes, solutions and explanation and possible applications, how to solve these particular problem. So this is why we need to conduct a research. So if you are interested to do research, what are the benefit? Before that, you need to have a strong motivation for doing research. Okay. Without this motivation, you may not be able to complete your PhD degree. Okay. If those who have completed already PhD degree, so you are doing your research for your, you are interested in that. You want to contribute something really great. Okay. So therefore, you need to continue. So to continue that, you need to have a strong motivation. Those do research to get a PhD degree. I told you PhD degree, highest degree given by the university. And when you get a degree, there will be consequential benefits. Many are getting UGC salary because you are all eligible. You have a qualifications of UGC as fixed. That's why you are all getting all the benefits. Okay. And much more benefits will come later. So therefore, if you have a PhD degree, you will be respected. In addition to that, you will get a higher post positions, and also there will be associated benefits also you can harvest. Then desire to face the challenge in solving the unsolved problem. There are many problems are confronting us every day. You need to take up them, one of them, and it is a challenging one. And solutions are not near to you. You need to work hard 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years. Sometimes there are so many problems which are not solved. Okay. So therefore, you need to employ some research students who are also having strong motivation, and with the help of them, you can solve the problem and contribute something. When you come out with a solution, people will appreciate, society will appreciate, and policymakers will implement your solutions that you are given in the form of a research publication. So that's why they are very, very important. And then desire to get an intellectual joy. So many of you are all teachers. When you enter the classroom, you will enjoy teaching for 1 hour. You will forget yourself, everything you will forget, and start teaching. So while teaching, you enjoy, isn't it? So intellectual joy is something nobody can experience. Only teachers, only scientists can experience. So therefore, if you want to experience that intellectual joy, then you come to the research. They always do very creative work. It is not an ordinary job. Nobody others can do that. So therefore, teaching is a noble profession. So therefore, you are all enjoying that. And you need to, keep track of that. So therefore, similarly, research is also, they get a very high level of intellectual joy while doing that research, sharing that knowledge with fellow scientists, fellow colleagues, very important. And more than that, when you are doing a research, it is also a service to the society, because you are working on, after all, the problems which you have taken from the society. You are solving the problems that are there in the society. So when these problems are solved, people will be very happy. So you will have that satisfaction. Yes, I have solved this particular problem which has been there for the last 50 years. It may be theory, it may be something else, it may be a disease problem, anything for that. If you have discovered something new drug, there is a cancer is a serious problem. For the last 30, 40 years, we have been working on that. Lot of money we have spent. There is no solutions. Okay. So therefore, if you discover some important drug which can, prevent the cells becoming cancerous, it is something very great. So therefore, that is also very important. Then you need to have a desire to get respectability. When you do research, you have a PhD degree. When you have a PhD degree in the college, in the universities, people in your house, the society, everyone will respect you. He is a doctor. Okay.
ಬ್ಯಾನರ್ ಇನ್ನೂ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಾದ್ಯಂತ ಹರಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಈವಿ ಹೋಯ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Coming to significance of research, acquiring PhD degree means it is a way of attaining high position. So you are all, you can try for university jobs, and also, there are many research institutes. You can move to research institute also. Okay. And you will have social structure. You will have a high position in the academic as well as social structure. People do respect those who have highest degree. And there are people who are throughout their life, 30, 40 years, they are only doing research. It is the source of livelihood. For example, scientists, social scientists are scientists. Okay. And these scientists, researchers are great philosophers also, and also thinkers, because they have new ideas. They know, they provide all new ideas for a particular problem in the society. They give new insight into the problem, societal problem, whatever may be. Okay. And these people are treated as creative men and women, because they always do creative work. And doing research is a rewarding and satisfying career, because scientists always work for 30, 40 years. Therefore, for them, it is a rewarding as well as satisfying career. And when you do research, there will be a lot of opportunities for lifelong growth. If you don't do research, you will retire as a college teacher. But if you do research, you will get so many other opportunities. Some other country fellow people will call you, invite you. come do research on this. It is interesting to me. Can you share your data with me? So they will come forward to have a collaboration. You can go to visit on other countries. Then different types of opportunities will emerge, and you can enjoy that. Last one, the global career opportunities. Definitely, global career opportunities you can enjoy later. So research is the one, it helps in nation building process. So you need to contribute something to the nation through your research. You can contribute really great service in whatever the area that you are working on. Okay, economics, sociology, okay, Kannada, English, any field, microbiology, botany, zoology, you can contribute. So that is why this research is very, very important. So after having understood what is research, what is its importance, let us move further. Okay. So Sir Isaac Newton, he has made a statement. So you know that he is the father of gravitation theory. What he has said, if I have succeeded in my inquiries more than others, I owe it less to my superior strength of mind. Don't think that I don't have caliber to do research. Don't think that. This is what Sir Isaac Newton is telling. Than to a habit of patient thinking. If you have a patience and thinking, research will automatically come. So therefore, don't think that research is only, people with very high IQ. Don't have that attitude. Okay. So therefore, let us move further. So when it comes to research, there are two types of research. Only basic, two types of research. One is basic research, otherwise called fundamental research. The second one is applied research or revolutionary research. When it comes to research, two types of research. All research can be classified under two types: fundamental or basic, applied or revolutionary research. Just a few description of what is basic or fundamental research. For example, we all experienced this COVID-19 virus. We know that the virus is a SARS-CoV-2 virus. SARS-CoV-2, that is the virus. Okay. We have finally discovered this virus discovery, and understanding the structure, how it looks like, how it spreads, what does it cause. It is all about, and if you understand the structure of virus, what chemically made up of what, and how it multiplies, and how it causes diseases, and how it spreads. If you understand all these things, it is called basic research or fundamental research. On the other hand, the people have developed a vaccine. Vaccine, we know that different types of vaccines we all taken. So if you develop a vaccine for control and spread of the disease, then we call it as a applied research or revolutionary research. Applied research or revolutionary research. So basic research means basic research is performed in accordance with a set of rules, concepts and procedures. That means you have all living organisms are made up of cells. Within the cells, we have so many other cell organelles are there. If you discover one more organ in the cell, it is a basic research. Suppose this particular cell organs perform something very unusual function, which is going to have a far-reaching effect, then we call it as a revolutionary research. So revolutionary or applied research is nothing but it solves certain problem employing well-known and accepted theories and principles. And applied research is useful for basic research, and outcome of research is immediate application. So the product of applied research or revolutionary research it can be used immediately. The basic research, suppose if you discover a new cell organ, it will not have immediate uses. But if you develop a vaccine, it will have immediate applications. So it can be used to control the disease. So that is why we call it as a revolutionary research or applied research. So there are many people are working on basic research, and there are many same number of people are also working on applied research. Both are very, very important. Whether it is basic research or applied research, they all fall into these three categories: quantitative research, qualitative research or mixed research. So you can mix both quantitative and also qualitative, so it is what we call mixed research. So there are so many other types of research. I will not get into that. We call it as a exploratory research, descriptive research, explanatory research, longitudinal research, cross-sectional research, action research, policy-oriented research, then comparative research, casual research, theory-tested research, theory-building research, field testing research, clinical research, historical research. For example, you discover something new drug from a plant. As you suspect that is a cancer, anti-cancer drug. That has to be tested. How do you test? And clinical animals, clinical trials. That is called clinical research. When you conduct an experiment on animals, we call it as a clinical research. Then it will be implemented in on human beings also later. So something like that. Historical research, conclusion-oriented research. So like that, we have different research. All research, they fall into two categories. Remember, basic or fundamental research, or applied or revolutionary research. Okay. So then how do I research? Suppose I am interested. How can I conduct a research? So for that, let us discuss for 1 or 2 minutes. What is the issue? Suppose if you are unknown to research, tomorrow I want to start a research. Then you need to have a problem. You need to identify the problem in the society. What is the issue? What is that particular problem on which you would like to work? In economics, sociology, whatever may be, in microbiology, what is that particular problem? Because next 5 years, you are going to work on that. So therefore, the problem, choosing the problem is the main aim and focus of the research. So the problem that you select is very, very important. When you select a problem, think about 100 times whether it is a suitable problem. You discuss with your research guide the problem that I have taken, whether it is really a good problem for PhD work or for my lifelong research career. So that has to be understood. Then why is it necessary to you ask question? You have chosen a problem, ask one more. Is it necessary to do research on this particular issue or the problem? Ask again. Ask with a fellow scientist whether this research work has already been done by some other scientist. You have to find out the real truth. Then questions need to be answered. If you have chosen the problem, what are the questions or the solutions I want to find out? So there will be a questions. For that, you need to find out the answers. And who will be the best person? Because to investigate or to solve the problem, you need a research guide, research supervisor. Find out who is the best person in the university or the research institute who can be your guide. That is very, very important. We call them as research supervisor or research guide. That is very, very important. Then you have chosen the topic, you have chosen the guide. Then on that particular topic, what knowledge already exists, that you need to find out. What information or evidence already exists in the society, in the books, that you need to find out. For that, you need to conduct a review of literature. All the resources you need to collect and you need to read and make sure that no one has done this research. As on 2025, nobody has done this research work. No one has chosen this particular problem. It is an important problem in the society. I must investigate. Okay. What would be the best research method? Suppose to investigate what problem, what kind of methodology I should adopt? What are the tasks to be completed? Who will do what? And then how many years required for completion or solving this particular problem? All these you need to think about before starting a research. That is very, very important. Otherwise, you will get into the problem. Okay, you may not be able to solve the problem. If your guide is not able to guide, then your entire direction will go to different direction. Okay, so therefore you have to think about all these things before choosing the problem. Then you have chosen the topic. Then what are the important steps in research? Essential steps to experimental research. These are all the common steps, whether it is a science or art, economics, whatever may be. These steps are very, very common. The first one is identifying the research topic or the research area, research problem. The problem that you have chosen is a research topic. So you have chosen already. Then for that, further collection of pertinent literature. You have to collect all the world literature. You should visit all the libraries and all the internet sources, e-literature, and make sure that no one has working on this particular topic. Then it is really a good research topic. For that, you need to conduct an initial review. After initial review, you will come to know that some few people in other universities already started. Then you have to review literature and find out how best you can fine tune your topic, leaving the other topic, earlier topic. Then you can choose some other topic and you can carry out the research. Okay. So therefore, later, what is the basic research approach? What kind of methodology? How many samples to be? How many places you must visit? How many samples you should collect? How many people you must interact, interview? Okay. Population size. What should be the population? How many people I must interview? Okay. How many? And then in a society, different types of people, cross-sectional people will be there. Okay. So how many type, population and sample size you need to select for the collect the data. Then experimental, particularly the science, they have to conduct an experiment. They have to set up an experiment. Based on the experiment, and they will get conduct an experiment. The results to be accepted. The data should be collected. Okay, what kind of data they should collect, and then what kind of instrument they should use. Then choosing a method of data analysis. You will get a huge data that has to be abridged, that has to be synthesized into a very usable data. Okay, so you have to use a particular statistical methods to come out with a pertinent data that you can incorporate into your research thesis or research paper. Then implementing the research plan. So finally you got a result, and based on that you can also suggest to the policymaker this is how the research problem can be solved, so that you can prepare. Finally, preparing the research report. If somebody has funded your research project, you have to give it back the report. Or if you are doing a research, you have to compile a research thesis, PhD thesis. And while doing that, you can also publish research outcome. You have contributed, you have worked on for 5 years on the research topic. Therefore, you have also collected a lot of data. The data is very interesting that you need to publish in a very good scientific journals. Okay, there are world journals, best journals. So if you publish that, you will be recognized all over the world. Next to 24 hours, you will be recognized all over the world. Therefore, the data that you collect, the data that you interpret through statistical analysis, and when you publish that in an international journal, you will become an important figure. Overnight, your name will be very famous. Your name may not be figure in Google, but next to 2 days later, if you type your name, everywhere your contributions will be there in your Google search. Okay, so that is the beauty of scientific research. When you do research, you will be known all over the world. Okay, because your data becomes publicly advertised, and it is an important data. Therefore, your name, your college, your university, your country will be recognized. Then, so I told you research topic is very, very important. You need to choose your research topic should be very concise, very accurate, very informative. No wasted words should be there. Most important phrase first, description or statement later. Very, it is a research paper or your title of the PhD thesis. It should be very concise, very accurate, very informative. No wasted words. If you take out one word, the meaning of the title should change. Okay. So if you add something, meaning of your research topic will change. So therefore, it should be most appropriate. Then you need to have a strong introduction and review of literature. It is nothing but background information. It gives you background information, perspective, a brief review of literature. Why you have chosen this particular topic? You can tell the whole world, nobody has worked on this particular topic. Okay, it is very innovative. This is an important problem in Indian society. Okay, that I want to solve this particular problem. This is the logic I have, based on this, I chosen this particular topic. Based on that, I developed these objectives, 5 objectives. I worked on for these 5 objectives for 5 years. I come out with the solutions. These are the solutions. So you need to defend, whether it is your thesis, defend, final viva voce or publication of paper. You need to have a strong background for choosing that particular problem. Okay. So you need to have this. Okay. Then review of literature, very important. So you have to collect all the world literature. And when you review that, you will come to know that no one has done this kind of a research. Therefore, it will give you confidence that the research topic that you have chosen is very pertinent one. So for collecting literature, there are so many sources: library, books, journals, electronic sources, online, offline. Okay, so you can collect all these sources and you can review. And finally, you can write a review of literature under different themes. Okay, and finally, you should write objectives of research work. These are the based on the review of literature. These are the areas, 5 objectives. You can work on that. Okay, and finally, come out with an answer which will help us to solve the problem. Then, before doing the research, you also construct the hypothesis. Hypothesis is nothing but anticipation of outcome. Suppose if I do 5 years research, what I am expecting at the end of 5 years? Okay, what will be the result? Sometime it will be right, sometime partially right, it may be wrong also. So therefore, today you should foresee what you get the result next in the 5 years, next 5 years. Okay, so the hypothesis is very important. You can foresee the result after 5 years. So therefore, it should be very simple, specific, and conceptually very clear. Then, while doing research on a particular parameter, there are so many other variables. For example, if you are conducting a occurrence of a disease on a particular crop plant, there are so many other parameter influence. These are all called variables. For example, rain, relative humidity, temperature, these also help, influence the development of the disease, severity of the disease. These are called variables. Okay. There are so many in other field also. Similar type of variables will be there. You need to identify these variables and take these variables into consideration. Then based on all these, in every thesis, every research topic will have objectives will be there. 1, 2, 3, maximum 3 objectives will be there. Suppose thinking that you would complete your PhD work in 3 years, one objective for 1 year, you can have 3 objectives. You can have to go up to 5 objectives, but these objectives must be very clear, complete, and specific. These are the objectives for which you are going to find out the solutions. Then real thing, conducting the research, visiting, people, visiting villages, collecting data in case of humanities, in case of archaeology, visiting the temple and collecting all the data. Okay. Similarly, in science, it is altogether different. Sometimes lab work, sometimes field work. Okay. So research plan or experimental design is nothing but it is an operational plan. How you execute your research in the 5 years. What are the procedures to be adopted? What type of, testing, experimental, the equipment that one should use. Then treatments, different treatments, so samples, so control, so many things. Okay. If you are testing a drug, okay, you need to conduct an experiment on animals. So you have to treat the animals with a drug, different concentrations of the drug. Similarly, you need to have a control without drug. You will see the difference between treated ones and untreated ones, something. Okay. There are so many interesting things. So when you plan the experiment, so you will come to know that this is the research methodology I am going to execute. Then if you after having conducted the research, conducting the experiment, you need to collect the data. We have observations, sometimes interview in humanities, so observation, interview, sometimes questionnaire, sometimes secondary sources. In science, we need to conduct the experiment. Most of the time, we have to conduct the experiment and we have to collect the data. The data has to be converted into real arithmetic numbers. And finally, validating the data by using selected instruments. And that's what we do under materials and methods. So all these things in a systematic way, collection of sample, analysis of sample, what are the different methodologies we have adopted. There should be order, methodology will be the chronological order on which we have to conduct the experiment, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, you have to conduct the experiments. Then methodology, protocols, it is okay. Then finally, you need to have what we call results. So when you conduct the experiment, finally you will get a data. The data has to be, crude data has to be converted into a fine data, which can be used for incorporation in theses or papers. Okay. In while collecting the or writing the data, you have to write the data in the same order as materials and methods. The way you have conducted the experiment, in the similar fashion, you have to write the results of the experiment that you have conducted. Okay. So therefore, it is very important. When you write the result, you can use the figures, you can write the, construct the tables. Based on that, you can later, you can go for, presenting the data and, testing the data and all those things you will do using statistical analysis, and you will start the data processing. For that, editing the data, coding the data, verifying the coded data, analyzing the data, applying statistics. Then you will come out with a chart, so diagrams, so tables. So you have a huge data that cannot, all data cannot be included in your thesis. You have to, it should be explained in terms of, simple, numerological numbers sometime. Okay. So therefore, you need to apply statistics, come out with a displaying data so that everybody can understand. A huge data, common man cannot understand. Okay. So therefore, all data, complex data has to be converted into a simple data so that you can use a chart, diagrams, tables, all these, and you can finally process. And finally, based on the data, you need to discuss. So you got a result like this. What does it mean? Why you got this result? Discussion is all about why did it happen? You got this result. Why it has happened? What does it mean? Interpretation, findings in relation to hypothesis. So you got this, whether somebody has also got this similar result? No. If not, how do you explain that? Assess validity of the data. How do you justify your data? Did the data that you have got, whether answered your question, answered your problem that you have chosen? What is the significance of your research? What is the significance? Explain negative. Sometimes you may not get the positive result. Sometimes you do get negative result. What is its importance? Relevance to present condition. What the result you have got? Was it, what is its relevance to society? Whether it has solved the problem, whether the research that you have developed, whether it will have a new lines of study, you got a result, whether it will open up a new research, that you need to highlight. All these things will come in the discussion part. And finally, writing and conclusion is the last part of that. So you know the gist of the research work that you have done, and what are the important contributions that you are going to, what are the implications of your research that you are going to highlight in the conclusion part. Okay, that is very, very important. And you need to tell us this particular work or research findings will be useful in this area, marketing area, or human resource development area, or solving the this particular problem in the society. Okay, or solving the drug resistance in the medical field, something like that. Okay, so therefore summary and conclusions are very important. It will tell us the final outcome of your 5 years research or 10 years research. Sometimes the data that we generate, sometimes too much complicated. Sometimes that is why we need to explain it in simple terms. That is what is in summary and conclusions. So